So class, today we'll be starting our next new chapter, that is chapter number 5, coal and petroleum. So we use various materials for our basic needs. Some of them are found in nature and some have been made by human efforts. In the light of availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. The first one is inexhaustible natural resources and the second one is exhaustible natural resources. So first we will discuss about the inexhaustible natural resources. As you can see, it is written here, these resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted, that means to end, by human activities. Examples are sunlight, air. Next, coming to the number 2, that is exhaustible natural resource. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. Examples of these resources are forests, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. In this chapter, we will learn about some exhaustible natural resources like coal and petroleum and natural gas. These were formed from the dead remains of the living organisms, that is fossils. So, these are also known as fossil fuels. Here the first heading that we have is the coal. So, you may have seen coal or heard about it. It is as hard as stone and is black in color. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Earlier it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as fuel in various industries. The story of coal. So about 300 million years ago, the earth had dense forest in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural processes like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted into coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of the vegetation, coal is also called as fossil fuels. A coal mine is shown here in the figure 5.2. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal, tar and coal gas. So we will now know in bit more details what are these things like coke, coal tar, coal gas. Okay. So here we go with our first topic, that is coke. It is a tough, porous and black substance. That means it is a substance which is black in color, tough, hard and it is porous. That means it has pores in it, and any substance like liquid substance, they can pass through it if liquid is poured on this. It is almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Coal tar is our next topic. So it is a black thick liquid with unpleasant smell. Unpleasant means that we will not like. So that kind of smell is known as unpleasant smell. It is a mixture of about 200 substances. Products obtained from coal tar are used as starting materials for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life and in industry, like synthetic dyes, drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, roofing materials, etc. Interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moth and other insects are also obtained from the coal tar. Now coming to the next topic class, that is the coal gas. So coal gas is obtained during the process of coal to get coke. It is used as a fuel in many industries situated near the coal processing plants. Now we will come to the next topic class, that is petroleum. You know that petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as motorcycles, scooters and cars. Heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors run on diesel. Petrol and diesel are obtained from a natural resource called petroleum. Do you know how petroleum is formed? Petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. As these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with layers of sand and clay. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas. Look in the figure 5.4, it shows the deposit of petroleum and natural gas. You see that the layer containing petroleum oil and the gas is above that of water. Why is it so? Recall that oil and gas are lighter than water and do not mix with it. Now we will discuss our next topic class, that is refining of petroleum. Now petroleum is a dark oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. Odor means smell. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. The process of separating the various constituents, fractions of petroleum, is known as refining. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Okay class, now we will discuss our next topic, that is natural gas. So natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, which we know as CNG. So CNG is used for power generation. It is now being used as a fuel for transport vehicles because it is less polluting. It is a cleaner fuel. The great advantage of CNG is that it can be used directly for burning in homes and factories, where it can be supplied through pipes. Such a network of pipeline exists in Vadodara, Gujarat, and some parts of Delhi and other places. Natural gas is also used as a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. India has vast reserve of natural gas. In our country, natural gas has been found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in Krishna Godavari Delta. Okay class, now we will discuss about some natural resources are limited. So you have studied in the beginning of the chapter that some natural resources are exhaustible. That means they can end if you use them regularly, like fossil fuels, forest, minerals, etc. You know that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It required the dead organism millions of years to get converted into these fuels. On the other hand, the known reserves of these will last at most a few hundred years. Moreover, Burning of this fuel is a major cause of air pollution. Their use is also linked to global warming. It is therefore necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in better environment, smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for a longer period of time. In India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association (PCRA) advises people how to save petrol, diesel while driving. Their tips are: number 1, drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Number 2, switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. Number 3, ensure correct tire pressure. And number 4, ensure regular maintenance of your vehicle. So class, here we complete our chapter and all of its topics. So I hope that all of you have understood it well. That's all for today's class. Thank you class.